Hi everyone, it's Monday afternoon. I just got home from work. Literally, I just walked in the door. I've got about 10 minutes to get ready for this phone call before it comes in. I'm trying to see what benefits I qualify for. And I've been trying to apply online, but it's tedious and difficult, and I don't even know how to apply for the program that I want to apply for. I mean, anything I might be entitled to, I'm open to, but in particular, I'm looking to apply for one particular program, and it wasn't even listed on the list of programs. So I finally called the local office and said, how do I specifically apply for this? And they said, well, let's start the process. And yeah, we started the process, but there's a bunch more that needs to be done, and they need to call me and ask me a bunch of questions to complete this process. I'm nervous about questions that they'll ask me that I won't know how to answer. I'll let you know how it goes. I've got to stop and try to get remotely ready for this before the call comes in. If I would have had my way, there would have been a little bit more time between the time I stepped foot in this apartment and the time they called me, but things worked out the way they worked out. So I'll talk to you when it's over with. Okay, well, there's one thing I don't qualify for, but there's other things that I still could qualify for. But I've got to, well, there's some things that I need to do, and I know what they are. I've got to make phone calls, get information. I don't have these pieces of paper that they need. I'm going to have to ask for them. And then,
Facebook.
And then I need to call this other department and see about qualifying, or applying rather, for their stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to publish this and post this, but I'm recording it. It's some kind of vlog. I'm going to give myself the grace to not have to do anything about it right now. I mean, I could call this other department. Maybe I should, but I also could wait. What's tomorrow look like? The hardest thing is going to be contacting these places that at least one of whom I know is in a different time zone, and saying, I need you to fax this information into this entity. And then I want to call this other entity and get that started. In the meantime, I think it's most important that, I've got a few days probably to put these calls in, although I don't really want to put it off. But what's more important is setting up door-to-door transit, gosh darn it, for Wednesday. While I was on this benefits phone interview, my preferred ride service called. I had to send them a voicemail. They left me a message saying, we have nothing for you on Wednesday, I'm sorry. Which happens, but I'm calling door-to-door transit. I'm definitely going into work through door-to-door transit. And I'm praying that sometime between now and then, I'll be able to set up a alternative ride home that I can confirm the day of, and then cancel this door-to-door transit ride home, because, well, if you want to know why door-to-door transit taking me home from work is such a problem, go back and look at the last couple of vlogs. I vlogged extensively about that, and I'm not going to talk about it again.
Now offers online trip booking for most customers. Our online reservation system allows you to book, cancel, and monitor your trips 24 hours a day. You can even see where your vehicle is on a map.
That doesn't
to get
do
your
shit for me, but
information, speak to a customer service agent.
I should seriously check into that. I mean, this isn't a god-awful wait on the phone, but maybe I should check into that. Alright, if I must count on door-to-door transit, at least I got the windows that I wanted. But, like I said, I'd really love to cancel that last one. I'm waiting for a reply back to one of the people that I can ask. I just sent her a message. I'm waiting to hear back from her. What's tomorrow looking like? I'm taking door-to-door transit in. Thank God my preferred ride service has me covered going home. Which... Okay, she doesn't know yet. She's got to look at the calendar. If my preferred ride service can't handle both of them, and they can only handle one, if I had my way, they would be able to handle the one that is taking me home. So, thank you God for that. At least that worked out. She found out what her day looks like already. She's not. I'll check in with the other guy. By the way, do you notice there's a new voice on the iPhone?
Hi. My name is Reed Mobile. Actually, Anne has named me Reed Mobile. My actual name is Eloquence Reed. When iOS 16 came out, I was added to the voiceover options. Of course, Anne knows my voice as soon as she hears it, and when a friend of hers had me on their iPhone, she recognized it, and was thrilled when she found out I existed. She doesn't usually jump onto updates, but she updated to the newest iOS version as soon as she found out I was in it. I have been reading her iPhone screen ever since. By the way, if you want me to read yours, go to Settings, Accessibility, VoiceOver, Speech, Voice, and then Eloquence. There will be a series of names. My name is Reed. Click on Read, and I will read for you too.
Welcome to my iPhone, Reed. I always have loved you and I always will love you. And now let's speed you up. I never have you reading that slow, but I figure most people won't be able to understand you as quickly as I have you read.
55%.
Yeah, when the latest and greatest Braille Sense did not have him in it, I did not take it well. You know, he was included with JAWS for Windows when I got my first computer back in, like, the late 90s. So, yeah, Reed and I go back a long way. In fact, Reed and I go back to, like, when his name was Wade, I believe. Way, way back in the day. So I was thrilled when I found out that he actually existed in an iPhone. My only complaint with him is that there are times that he's just too delayed, I think. Like, when he's reading a phone number, I'm like, okay, you don't have to stop at every single number. Like, he'll read each number individually. I was like, sweetie, you don't have to stop like that. I kind of miss Samantha in that sense. She would, like, not stop after every number. She'd stop at the end of, like, each group of numbers. Reed hasn't quite learned how to do that yet, but hopefully he will eventually. But that's not enough of a reason to deactivate him and go back to Sammy. In fact, it's worth noting that Samantha, the Samantha voice that I've been using ever since I was introduced to iOS devices, is still in iOS 16, very much so. So, if I ever got tired of Reed, yeah, right, I could go back to Samantha anytime I wanted to. In fact, I actually have two iDevices, and I upgraded them both to iOS 16, put Reed on both, and then got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I don't want Reed on both. I actually went back to Sammy on one and have Reed on the other. That way I can, like, tell the difference between the main one and the secondary one. And then there's another iOS device I have that I'm beginning to think she can't update to iOS 16. She's back on 15 something, and then I tried to upgrade her last week and she was still on 15 something, and then I tried to upgrade her again today and she said she was up to date. So I was like, okay. This resistance I have toward getting the newest iPhone or letting go of my favorite features in the older devices means I'm not affording myself the ability to upgrade to read on that particular device, but it's all right. But back to the subject of Wednesday. As I've said before, there's really only 2 people that I can call when my preferred ride service tells me this. I've called both of them. Neither one of them's available. Unless there's an 11th hour miracle, it's do what I don't want to do. This is what you might call a jumble vlog. I have no idea what this vlog is going to be. I have no idea if I'm even going to publish it because it's so... I have no plan for it. I'm just vlogging when I feel like vlogging. Over a Monday and a Tuesday. I'll probably stop at the end of the day. Mostly because I said I'd vlog doing the process of the application, and I've started it. It's a process that probably will be going on for a while. Anyway, even though I didn't have a really, terribly early morning yesterday, even though I didn't take door-to-door transit into work yesterday, by the time it stopped being, nonstop, I was done for. I went to work at 8 o'clock, got there at 8:35, started work right away, kept working my regular shift, got home, got the phone call within 15 minutes, just like I expected to. Spent an hour on the phone with her, called Daddy. He's not really my dad, but I kind of wish he was because he's the man that has always loved me and appreciated me and had good things to say to me while others didn't. So I ended up calling him Daddy. By the time I talked to him and got done talking to him, I was almost half an hour late for this virtual meeting. Fortunately, it wasn't a meeting between me and one other person. It was a group meeting, which I was it doesn't matter. I could get away with getting in there late. I did get away with getting in there late, but regularly I don't really like to do that. But I didn't want to say, look, I've got 10-15 minutes before this thing starts. And more to the point, I kept looking for the email and didn't see it. The email with that link and didn't see it. So, at the time I was well, whatever. Then I finally hang up. Suddenly the notification comes through. I'm really? And I opened it on Facebook. Of course, the person hosting it always prefers that you go to the Zoom room. Well, where's the Zoom room link? Oh, now I find it. Where's it been for the past 25 minutes? Anyway, I showed up for that. Not that she said much that I didn't know, but anyway. And then... what else happened? Then I ate, then I posted a YouTube video, and then I intended to stay awake for another couple of hours or so, but somewhere within that, I just crashed. And now it's 3-something and I'm awake, and I'm gonna try to go to bed again because it's a go into work via door-to-door transit morning, which means the whole day starts earlier. Now, I have been given a heads up that there's going to be about half an hour where no one's going to be expected to work, but what we're doing really isn't going to apply to me or interest me. And the kick-ass, be the best worker you can possibly be part of me goes, well, I'll go ahead and work anyway. But why do you hold yourself to such high standards? You can get away with this and not be bad. Part of me is like, okay, I'm going to find something else to do. Like, for example, I have 2 entities that I have to call and say, I need you to send verification of my income to this entity. And while you're at it, actually, maybe can you send one to me? I should have a piece of paper that I can put my hands on that states this. My apartment manager gets them every year. This entity has to get them to figure out what I qualify for and what I don't, or basically to prove that I get what I say I get. I don't have this thing. I should have this thing. It's one of those things I should have. And I mean, I'm sure they exist somewhere, but when the papers exist somewhere, some elusive where I can't put my hands on them, it's still no good. So I probably should ask that it be sent to me as well. I've got 2 of these calls to make. Maybe I can make at least 1 there. Normally I would not try to do that at work, but now if I ever could get away with it, it's at a time like this, so I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I suppose I can understand because of confidentiality issues, like some people might not live alone, but still, I wish when they sent these messages out, they would just tell me what they have to say instead of, you got a new message. In order to read it, go to your message center and click on this and whatever they say. I mean, I wish they would just tell me what they have to tell me. And I wish they wouldn't send those out at 4 o'clock in the damn morning when people are trying to sleep. How about 7 o'clock in the morning when they need to be getting up? Although, on a day like today, if I'm just waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I've got a problem because 7:10 to 7:40 is my door-to-door transit window. If I'm just waking up at that point, no, I need to be waking up at 6:10. 6 o'clock. And I guess let's just deal with this. Would this video go smoother if I would insert some music here and there? Maybe. But I don't know how to go into my editing software and stop the production at a certain spot, insert a piece of music, and then continue it, number 1. I'm sure that's doable with my particular editing software, but I don't know how to do it. Something's just sticking in my throat. That's number 1. Number 2, if I wanted to put the effort into figuring out what, instead of just copying the whole folder, I could figure out where music belonged. I could take the trouble to listen to it, figure out, all right, should music go here, should music go there, and insert music into it. But there's also the other thing. People there's too much music, there's just the right amount of music, and then there's not enough music. I probably put not enough music. I don't put music in there at all a lot of times. But I'd rather not put music in there at all than to put so much music in it that people are going, okay, I'm not interested in listening to, how long is this music going to last? What's the next thing she has to say? If I wanted to listen to music, I'd turn on the radio. And there are plenty of YouTubers who have either videos just full of music or 2, 3, 5 minutes of solid music before they say the next thing they have to say. I'm like, enough, too much. I won't put you all through that.
Your ride should be arriving within the next 15 minutes.
Thank you. So I spend about 10 minutes. What time is it now?
Locked. 7:05 a.m. Locked. Status.
Alright. I'll talk to you next time there's something to vlog about. I'm sitting here with this half hour, or it was a half hour. I might have to spend the whole half hour sitting on hold waiting for them to pick up. I mean, I went from number 8 in the queue to 6 to 4 to now 3. Well, I've got about 12 minutes. Even when they answer, can this be done quickly? Like, can I say, here's who I am, here's what I need, can you send it? Or am I going to spend 5 minutes trying to explain what? And you're not going to hear this because I'm just not going to do that. Well, now there's only one caller ahead of me, so I might be able to do this after all. You too, thanks. Bye. Okay. That got done just in the nick of time. I expect things to not work out, and then they do work out. You're going to see that over and over again. I'm going to realize that about myself over and over again because it's the way I kind of am. Maybe one day I will get to the point where I'm able to expect the best. Because after all, the best can happen. It's a lifetime of expecting or going through the worst, or, I mean, you know, things aren't always as bad as they seem, but, well, there's probably more that could be said there, but I need to get back to work. So, what needs to happen next? I need to call the number that they gave me to call yesterday and say, I know I could qualify for this. Let's get that process started. That's not going to happen right now, that's for sure. I don't have time for that right now. I've got like 2 minutes before I need to get started again. There's no taskmaster, kick butt, like, get back to work, but I'm just going to kind of be that for myself. But the good thing about this office that I'm calling is it's local. I could wait until Friday to call. Or I could try to call them at like 3 o'clock and they'd still be open for 2 hours. So that's something I could do either today or Thursday. Probably not Wednesday because not sure what time I'll get home, and then I have a virtual meeting at 4 o'clock. So either today or Thursday, I want to make that something that I try to do, because on Friday, technically I've got Friday available, but Friday tends to get like busy and things maybe should get done and don't get done. So okay, I'm going back to work. Talk to you later. Oh, I forgot there's one other phone call I need to make. No way was it going to happen right now, but I don't even know how to ask these guys for an award letter. Man, I wish I didn't have to deal with them, but I'm ever so grateful for the blessing of the income. It's just I don't know how to verify it and ask them for an award letter or a... I mean, I probably ask them the same way I ask these guys, but well, I'll deal with that another time. Okay, I'm on my way home, and I looked up that place that I have to call, and I hope I have all the information I need. But I'm not going to try to call them today because from what I have been able to figure out, they're closed by now. It's 3 hours ahead of... It's 2:20 now, my time. It's already 5:20 their time. I'm not going to waste the effort. So... Actually, I think on that note, I'm going to end this vlog because this is getting really long. And... yeah. It's time to end it. So thank you for listening to this audio-centric video. Check out the description box below, and you'll hear from me in the next video. Bye.